Well, my earliest memories of film are, they're probably some of the more like dearest ones. It was like, that was a bonding experience for me and my family. My dad used to always like have a camera, especially like at parties and stuff. And the bonding experience behind all that was when he would come home after like a Rite Aid or a Costco, and he'd show us all the pictures from that party or that gathering or that trip that we all took. And we always looked at them, we had a good time. And the one thing I always looked at was like the negatives. And as a little kid, you just would kind of wonder, like, I've seen that image before, and my dad would be like, yeah, it's the image that's on this photo. A couple years ago, I remember hitting up my boy and just telling him one day, like, hey man, like I'm getting tired of saying that I'm gonna keep doing this, because it's always been in the back of my mind, you know, it was always on the back burner. And I was like, hey fool, like one of these days, I wanna get a fucking camera and just shoot shit, fool. Like, I want to go down and like when I paint, because this is when I still painted and shit, like I want to go, when I go paint and shit, like I just want to catch the before and after, want to catch all the fucked up spray cans on the ground and all the nasty shit you see when you go to the pits and all that. Also I told him, like, there's a lot of shit going on in the world back in those days, you know, like that we should be like documenting right now. This is before like the neighborhood started getting more and more expensive, especially here. And that's when I told him, like, hey, fool, I want to start just getting shit, fool, because one of these days, these places might be gone, bro. Like, the places we grew up with, like El Rancho Fresco, La Popular, which fucking ended up closing down not that long ago. A bunch of little, like, neighborhood businesses, right, that are gone. And I'm like, yo, we need to start getting this shit, fool. Like, people are never going to remember this, because there's going to be this other shop there, like, 2 weeks from now, or like a month or a year from now, and people are just going to completely forget about that shit. Aesthetic qualities, I like how, obviously how raw it is, and how you don't get like a second chance depending on your frames, or just the moment. You know, like if I was shooting digital, I could just fire off and get like 1,000 shots, and that'd be that, and just edit the shit out of every single one of those. But when you're doing film, like to a certain extent, you kind of gotta know what you're doing. It always changes, but the one thing that doesn't change anymore after I got over my fear of it was just people. I love shooting portraits, man. I love taking pictures of people, whether it be me asking them or them asking me, or me just being on the street deciding to take a photo of someone. Because I've never been able to buy a digital camera. I don't know if I'll ever afford like one that I might actually want. And two, I don't know shit about digital cameras, so I don't know which one I would actually like. But if I could, don't get me wrong, it is something I would love to do. Video more than anything. I feel like my work still has a long way to go. I feel that I can actually tell the story and compose something beautiful if I really put my mind to it. And I kind of want to do that one day. I want to explore that terrain. At the moment, I don't think so, everything I've seen, you know, and mind you, like I said, I don't know anything about digital, but what I have seen with my homies that are super diehards, gun-ho about film, like, you see, you can't replicate that shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, I know, but, you know, it's a good intent, I guess, you know, people are trying. But it wouldn't surprise me if one day they finally get it down, you know, which would kind of have this other giant ship, because that's always going to be the battle of, like, trying to sink that fucking shit to the ground. But a couple years later, this shit's still around, you know, people are still shooting this shit. If not, they're starting to shoot it a little bit more now than ever. Very recently, I have been getting hit up to like collaborate with some people, and mostly, you know, the talented ladies in the game right now. They're very good at what they do. Like, they plan this out, and that put me kind of in a different mind state recently, because I mean they take this seriously, and they nail it every single time. And I feel like I had to come hard, I had to come correct, because like every time I see any of the females in the game doing stuff right now, they're destroying it. They're so good at composition, they're so good at planning things out, I mean, the list goes on, bro. So that kind of took me out of like my norm, where I just kind of shoot just like sporadically sometimes, you know what I mean, without even thinking. But I like kind of where that put my head for things like that. So I'm like, okay, cool, I gotta start kind of approaching things a little differently. I think we all have that moment sometimes, where once you hit it right off the ballpark. I know I did it in my first world film. I kind of said like, damn, fuck that, you know, like I don't think I want to do this shit. It seems a little too complicated. On some real shit, man, I'm trash at technology. Like I don't even know how to use my phone all that well. But saw that I couldn't do film, or I thought I couldn't do film, I was like, fuck. Nah, I think I'm good, but it kind of challenged me, you know, because I'm very competitive, even against myself. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna try that shit again. And once I started actually getting results, I was like, yo, that's when I looked at like one of my best friends and I was like, hey, get a fucking camera and just shoot it and see what you can get, bro. The cost of it right now, you know, like before that, there wasn't really a hard part to film. Like when it didn't cost shit, or that's not that it didn't cost shit. It's always costing fucking something. But when it didn't cost as much as it did now, it wasn't that hard, you know. And like the more you get into this shit, the more you want to try more stocks. The more you kind of want to stock up for some fucking reason. You get that bug. I think everybody else does. That's the hardest part. Is like the cost of the shit. And, like it's starting to feel like it's really unfair now. But other than that, man, everything else is pretty gravy. Hopefully a bright one, man. Hopefully more film stocks, actual fucking film cameras that come out, more diversity, more representation. My name is Oscar Orlando Cruz Torres, and I shoot film.